Welcome everybody to the trailer of HackFab.
You got it.
Bobby Hackel. We didn't get to walk a little bit. Wendell turned the lights out, and camera guys didn't want to walk backwards, so you'll have to settle for this.
Whatever we gotta do, that's fine.
One of the things that people probably don't realize about you is you're one of the OGs of being really, really young in these race cars. I mean, tell everybody how old you are, right? You're not even 30.
Yeah, I'm 29 now.
And you've been racing these things for what, half your life?
Yeah, since I was 13, I've been an open wheel sportsman and then moved my way up to modified. So yeah, I've been at it a long time. It just, especially when I moved into the modified ranks about 10 years ago, it's so tough running with guys that do this to put food on their table. Stu and Shep and all of them. That and then pioneers of the sport. You got Fuller and the Johnsons and Alan, Danny, all of them. I mean, these guys have more laps than I've even ever thought of. But at the same time, I'm getting there. I've been putting the time in, and I've been paying my dues, and I'm getting hooked up with the right people that have helped me a lot. And not for nothing, like to race at the modified level, it's so financially hard that Kenny Tremont told me one time when I was really getting down in the dumps when I first started on modified, like it takes a lifetime to get to this point. Like you're looking at guys that have spent a lifetime to build their program to where they are, and so that kind of put it in perspective. And after that, I've stopped whining and I've been getting to the grindstone with my guys and my partners, and we've just been building.
Also, by the way, Bobby promises there's Tito's in this.
Yeah, in honor of Brett.
Yeah, in honor of Brett Dale.
Exactly.
So we won't. You'll only be a little bit of a wuss.
Exactly.
So tell me, right? So you started at 13. Does it you have any thoughts, right, about some of these kids who are starting now? I mean, we've seen Tanner Van Doren, right, who's here this year.
Absolutely.
Logan Watt, who's starting to really make a name for himself in the sportsman. I mean, like I said, you were kind of the pioneer of it, but here we are several years later, and there's quite a few.
Absolutely. Biggest thing is, like, if anything, I can say what those guys told me. Like, if you want this bad enough, it's going to take time. It's going to take good partners, and even when you don't have good partners, you still got to get out and race and learn what you don't know. There's some things you just don't know till you do it, and you're going to learn the hard way. You're going to wreck some stuff and hurt some feelings of your own and other people, and then you learn from it. And you build a notebook, and then new suspension and stuff comes out, you throw your home notebook out, and you learn again. Like, if you're not learning, you're going to go better. But I think, things like the iRacing and all that kind of stuff, I mean, like, little Paulie Hartwig, I mean, that kid lives on iRacing, but he's also racing a real car a ton, whether it's asphalt, dirt, everything, and it just means so much, laps for laps. And, the only way you're going to catch up to these veterans is to get laps.
Yeah. Now, right, so, you've moved on now, here you are at this point, but I think you really started to, at least from my perspective, you started to make your name for yourself your first year running with the Short Track Super Series, the North Region, with a big block, right? That was all you had, one big block, going everywhere we went, and you ran well. And obviously it's developed into what it is, but tell me about that first year when you signed up knowing you maybe didn't have all the right equipment.
So I flat out told my guys, hey, I've been watching Short Track Super Series, never even attempted to race anything, so I want to take the oldest car we have, and we scrounged together a spare big block with some help from people, and I said, I just want to go out and see if I like it, if I like Brett, his guys, his program. I've never raced with him, I just want to try it. The other deal never made sense to me to go out and try to do. Brett's deal from the outside made sense. Once I started racing it, I got about halfway through the season, and I had 2 good runs, and the rest were absolutely kicked my teeth in. I said, okay, I'm getting beat on here, and here on my program, but I need to go do more of that. And that's where I want to build my program around. I was doing a little bit of everything, and to do it right, I want to go put all my chips in and go all towards Brett's program. So I dropped everywhere else I was racing. I got rid of all my big blocks, and I went, the super late model style, big small block route to harness the power and the power and the weight advantage of those. And ever since then, we've been rolling. We've been just trying to get notes at Utica and Fonda and everywhere's on the series, including here.
So we're going to get into something I know that might be difficult for you, right? But HackFab came because you were a fabricator for PMC race cars, and things kind of fell through there. You and Bob decided we're going to get a Bicknell. You run PMC race cars, I imagine, your whole life at that point.
Yep.
Switched to Bicknell last year, and just tell kind of whatever you want to tell about that, how that went, and
Pete Truck to PMC taught me things that I will have for my lifetime. Biggest thing about me is my whole life, not everybody can be a professional driver. It's so hard. I just want to work in racing. I want to make my living in racing one way or another. So I learned skills there that I'll never forget and that I'll always apply. But as a program, my partners and everybody involved wanted to try something different. And I drove my entire career, we talked about, since I was 13 on that brand. It was just time for a change. And all those guys got together, made the change, and we went out and we ran good. I mean, it's racing. It sucks in a way, but in a way, like, this is also my career too. Not, I make a living in racing, but it's all connected.
Right.
Like, how I run also sells products at my other job.
Right.
And vice versa. So it was just, changes happen. It's been good. My new gig full-time at Killer Crate, it's been awesome working with Bob and everybody there. Yeah, I'm going to plug one of these badass new bead locks, and it's one of our other items. Billet, fits a Kaiser and a weld. But between that and our crate motors and our valve springs that we do, like, I'm still involved in racing every day. I pick up the phone and I talk to racers, and I love it. That's the thing. And it's also opened me up more free time to get out on the road and race more. Like, I didn't get to do Florida the past couple of years because that's building season for a chassis fabricator.
Right.
And so I couldn't take that time off. Fully understood it, but now, I can run our website off.
Here we are.
Off my phone, and I'm here, and we're racing.
So you made the switch to Bicknell, and immediately paid dividends. You went out and beat Stuart Friesen at Fonda.
Yeah.
Couldn't take it from you, right? He restarted alongside of you for the last half of the race, and you beat him. Tell me first about the switch to Bicknell, and then we'll talk a little bit about that win.
So, Bicknell builds a great race car. Never had one in my garage. I've been over. It was great. It was awesome. To be 100% honest with you, I didn't even really talk to too many guys at Bicknell after getting it. Andrew Buff helped make my transition flawlessly. He helped me with a ton of squaring, setting it up, shocks, everything on that, and he's been awesome. An asset to me. He came down here with me and helped me now, but that was a huge part of it. And then also it was all fresh equipment. That never hurts either. But it was just the next couple tenths I was missing in areas, and when you race at Fonda and Utica, like, that's why I go there. You earn it.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I've been following Matt and Shep around my entire career. And so the next step is I need to follow them every Friday night. So I race with Matt on Fridays, and I race with Shep on Saturdays, and there's still plenty of other great guys there too that you got to pass. So the only way I'm going to learn is race with them guys, and to be the best someday, you got to race the best. So
you did learn, right? Tell me about that night, right? Because that seemed like a dream night, right? Like, I've talked to Alex Yankowski, right? And he said, I don't want to win if Stu's not here.
Exactly.
You did that.
Yep. No, that's what I mean. Like, I started up front, and so, a win's a win, but if I was running away with it, and I'm like, I started on the front row, like, I'm still going to be super excited. But when the caution came out and he lined up next to me, I'm like, well, if we win this now, it's justified. Nobody can say it was a give me. He wasn't here. He's running truck somewhere or something like that. So, no, it was awesome, and I look forward to getting back there and trying to apply what we've learned at the end of the year. We were going really well at the Fonda 200. Things happened, it just didn't work out, but we've shown speed the whole last part of the year with that car, and we've got a couple of them now, so we can race a little more and keep things fresh, and just hopefully just keep building the notebook with that brand.
You got to click off Utica next, right?
That's it.
How tough is that place?
Absolutely tough, because it's so awesome, because it's about the beautiful, like, crystal smooth clay. Beginning of the night, you're throwing Tootsie Rolls off the tires, you got so much bite. And then it takes such a transition for the feature. It's glassy smooth, but almost as slick as this place. But that's what we race on in New York, and I gotta get better at it. But I feel like racing there every Friday night, not only with the competition, but the way the track races and being so slippery, that it just makes my whole program better. Anywhere else I go, maybe besides Alltech, I feel like I have more grip than I have at Utica.
Right.
So it's been helping a lot.
All right, one more.
Yeah.
Winning on the STSS, right? Like, you've won, regular shows, you even won some specials, right? 5 Mile this past year.
Yep.
But you're a full-time, right? You're committed to the STSS, so that's got to be number one.
Absolutely.
To get done.
Like, I want to win one at Utica, no doubt. We're going to work on that this year, but, winning out on a series, like, Brett Steele at Short Track Super Series is the closest thing. It really is a national series, and for our style cars. And so, I want to win on a national series. This is our top level of motorsports for our style rate, our center steer car. And so, that's on the list too. Just keep building the notebook. I get better, and if the stars align our night, we can get one. It'd mean so much. It'd mean so much to my guys and everybody that stuck with me, because we've had a lot of bad times over since I was 13 trying to build this notebook, build this program, financially and everything. So the ones that have stuck with me, thank you. And if it wasn't for Bob Godgart, my grandfather, who's spent a ton to help me come down on this trip. My uncle, Fast Eddie, everybody sees in our Killer Crate videos. My dad, my girlfriend, I mean, everybody, that puts into this, I race almost 60, 70, 80 times a year, and that's a lot. And it takes all their help. Without one of them, I wouldn't be able to do it. And so I'm lucky.
I do have one more, right? Because you just mentioned grandfather, dad. You're Bobby Hackel the fourth.
Sure. Yep.
How far back does racing go for Bobby Hackel?
So
whether it be the third or junior or senior.
It started with senior, which was my great grandfather. Bob Hackel, he raced a little bit, but he liked being a car owner more than anything. He owned coupes and everything, raced at like Burden Lake Speedway out by us and stuff like that. And then my grandfather started racing, and he was the one that took our family like all over the coast, racing the many modifieds, VWs. He was very successful. And then my dad started racing the open wheel sportsman, things like that. He never really ran modified, but he ran sportsman, and he's the one that, just as I really got into racing being younger, we were at Fonda every week when Rick Lucia owned it. And so my love for Fonda was right from there, sitting in the Turn 4 grandstands watching there. And so now that I'm back there being a regular, and I won there in the modified division, it just means so much. It was awesome. But I've also been a lifelong Richie Evans fan. I read his book for every school project when I was a kid. So
Doug Zupan's gonna love that.
Yeah, I want to get one at Utica just because his night would be even better. It'd be a great payday, but first I gotta get one. I wouldn't care what night. But
all right, well, you got a couple shots here this week. Yeah. Good luck, Bobby. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you guys for.
I'm glad you took it easy on the Tito's.
Absolutely, I definitely did. Stay hydrated for the week, but thanks for everything you guys do. Flo does. Everybody, it helps when we go out and try to find sponsors and everything, and it pays dividends. So just I've been looking forward to doing one of these for a while. I watch everyone. So Flo's out of my garage about every night. We don't even pay the cable bill anymore. But
it's right over there.
Product placement over there right now.
Well, that was.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I want to thank everybody's doing for racing. It needs it with everything going on in the world, and it just means a lot. So
the first ever. What we say? Trailer Talks? Trailer Talks with Bobby Hackel.
Thanks, guys.